Well, trucking away getting some things done here. As per a good buddy there, I put on a different valve cover. This is actually my S13 valve cover. It's on my S14 head just to protect it. If I smash this up, don't care too much. I can always paint it again or do whatever, not a big deal. My update so far is I've been installing some oil and coolant lines on my GT35R. This is a coolant line you see right here. It says it's made for drag racing. It's a nylon hose. It might be a bit of a concern down in underneath here, because you can see it actually gets pretty close to my manifold. But either way, I cut the lines myself, put the fittings on myself, just simply because other people, like Toby Broadfield, weren't much help. I gave him a list of a bunch of things, and he could have made a quick sell, but looks like I had to do things myself. I got it scarred up a little bit. I don't really care too much about that. I'll probably touch it up later once the car is running and everything seems to be looking good. I'll put maybe some high temp paint on it, make it look a little bit better. But anyways, I got the one fitting done. Wastegate, I'm running a 7-pound spring, as well as the AEM True Boost solenoid. Now the other side here, I decided to go with a sandwich plate after messing around with this oil sender. I'll show you here. Somewhere over here I have mine. I have it rigged up kind of like ridiculous. Like I got a Y fitting on there. I've actually got 5 of these, and they work. I'm probably going to end up selling all of them though, because I'm going to work with the sandwich plate. From there I got dash 4 fittings for my oil. As you can see, got one end done right here. Other end, I gotta check the size of it once I get the sandwich plate, but then I'll put it together on that side. Same thing with my oil return. Carve that up pretty good too. I got a 45 here for my dash 10. The only thing is this particular oil pan I bought off of another member because it was a decent price, but it does kind of concern me, like that bung he had welded on there. Its position, it seems to be hanging a little bit low. And if I put the hose on there, I'm probably going to have a low spot. Now the thing with this is, though, is I'm feeding it with a dash 4, and it's coming out, the oil's coming out in a dash 10. I can't foresee it being a problem, but I'll just put this 45 on here. Another thing that kind of I wonder about with his placement is the motor mount. I got an excessive motor mount, but even so, like, might have to go in front of it or behind it, whichever works on the car, maybe behind it. Have to figure that out, but when I have it on there, this 45, you'll see there is definitely a low spot, you know, right where the bend is. Now I could probably, you know, get the fluid. It's going to pass down the least resistance, so if it does get kind of caught up in there, once it gets about yay high in the line, it should go down there anyway. But the thing is, you definitely don't want it backing up all the way to the turbo. So I might have to take it easy doing this, or get a completely different setup going on my oil pan. This was the setup I was going to do originally, JIC to dash 10 weld on, but my welder ended up burning through a different oil pan, so I just scrapped that. Figured, okay, I don't have a whole lot of time with my work and such, so this is the fitting I got on the turbo. This was another thing I have to say, a little bit of a complaint here to the guys at Doc Race, or DOC Race, or whatever you guys want to call yourselves. In underneath, when I have this dash 10 drain, the male, when I have the female on here, it hits the wastegate. Actually, I could probably show you. I mean, maybe I'll have to put a 45 on it, but as you can see, like, it doesn't want to line up straight. I could probably force it on there, but it's going to basically be rubbing right against here. And then after I get it on there, I'm going to have to, you know, try to figure out a way to get my V-band on there for the wastegate itself. These are little annoying things, you know, when it comes to turbocharging a non-turbo car, and you know, product design. Like, these guys at Doc Race, like, they probably haven't worked the same setup as I have, and that's understandable. You know, like, I can't hate a guy for the product that they make, because it is really amazing welds and whatnot, but you know, the manifold sits a little high, so I might still have hood clearance issues, but I don't know. It was a decent price manifold. It was about half the price of the full race ones, actually probably less than half price, so you know, you can't go wrong with that. But then again, you know, if you have to buy motor mounts and then different fittings and things like that, it does add up, so maybe you should get the better manifold. If you guys are listening, get a forward-facing manifold. Make one, you know. You said if there was enough interest. Well, really? I would trade mine in a heartbeat if you have a forward-facing. That would put the turbo a little bit lower and kind of right in this area. Being that a lot of us are using coil packs and not using the distributor, we would have no problem setting the turbo kind of right in this area. But another update, I have ASP crank pulley. It's actually in the Xterra right now. I was going to get some engraving done on the front of it, but I never got around to it. Couldn't find a place that would do it for cheap enough. And what else do we have here? Beer can. Mr. Beer Can. Fuel rail. These are the, I believe, 96-pound Defi. I can't remember what you call these injectors. 96-pound low impedance injectors, but they look like they're going to do the job for where I need to be. If not, I still have my 120 Lucas injectors, and maybe try to figure a way to get them to work in that fuel rail. So I want to say thanks for him for setting me up with that awesome fuel rail like this I can work with. I also have an intake coming in, and probably LS2 coils. The LS ones are a little bit large, and I hear good things about LS2, so I might be grabbing a set of LS2 coils pretty quick. And I don't know. I'm trying to get this done. I am kind of a one-man show here in the garage, and I'm probably going to have to take my time to build a downpipe, because I'm looking at this and I'm not going to have a whole lot of room with that air conditioner hose back there. I'm also going to have to get some of that reflective tape to go around it as well. Whole bunch of little things. Another thing as well is I gotta get this on my transmission, but I'm still waiting for a Nismo pivot fork to go in there, or the little ball. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. It's the probably a little dark, but that guy. It looks like I have a new one in there, but I don't think it's the Nismo one. It does look pretty beefy, but I don't have another one to compare it with. I have the 350Z or Z clutch, RB25 flywheel. It's from JWT. At least that's what they sold me. They said they sold me. It says Koyo, I think, somewhere on it, but anyway, got that hooked up. Now it's just a matter of waiting. I have an intake coming from Mr. My Own Casualty, and that should be here hopefully next week. And that should complete this engine off to make it look like something superior. And realistically, doing the numbers and the math and everything like that, I would love to get like 450 horsepower. The only problem is I'm running pump gas. Up here in Canada, we don't have E85. We can get like a 106 or something. I forget what they have at the airport. You can pick it up, but it's not very efficient to tune. You know, if you have to drive from airport to airport, and it is pretty expensive. But after I get this done and in here, I'm going to start selling things like maybe the spare block that's been honed. I got the crank and girdle over there, and I'm still probably figuring if I'm going to use this oil cooler. Cleaned it all up and everything like that. It looks like it was used for coolant beforehand, but want to make sure it's for sure clean before I hook my oil system up to it. Don't have much more of an update to mention. I've got some spark plugs. I actually have them installed. I bought 2 sets of these. This number here is not the ones with the V in the end of them. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. These are just the flat tip ones. I'm probably going to get the V, but these are BKR 7s, and they were actually really cheap at Summit Racing. I forget how much it was, but I ordered 2 sets because I've never seen them that cheap before. That's what I got for an update. So, fan club, I will catch you again later.